some of you can, but no, just me. So we are here at Curly's Chicken House in Elmira. Thank you guys for all coming. Appreciate it. Thank you. Again, I'm out here again crossing the state. And as I said earlier, I was actually recognized at the last place we were more than once. Recognition matters because people get excited. And that's the issue. So many people, I'm sure you've seen, have kind of given up. They just check out. They go, you know what? It's not going to work. I don't care. And they're waiting on one of three things before they leave. They're waiting for an elderly parent to pass away. They're waiting to retire from some job so they can get their pension or their retirement. Or they're waiting for one of their kids to get out of school. Right? One of those three things. Once one of those three things happen, they pack up and they leave. And I've been trying to talk about the idea. It is very important that we create an environment for people to want to stay. And we're not doing that. I'm not mad that people are leaving. I get it. If you want to leave, I understand. I'm disappointed in us as a state for not creating an environment where you go, oh, I can't wait to stay. I want to stay. It's important. New York, as you all know, is a beautiful, wonderful state with everything you can imagine in this state. But then why are people leaving? Because it's so oppressive. I had a business owner just an hour ago tell me, he goes, I fight every day the government. He goes, the government is worse than my competition. That's what he said. The government's worse than my competition. That's terrible. The government should, at a minimum, be nothing. But then if it's going to be anything, it should be your friend. Right? But at least be nothing. Just leave me alone and I'll deal with my competition as I should, whatever the case may be. But he's like, that's my biggest competition. And I think about that. How many people do you know who've gone into business and the final nail in a coffin was a tax bill or a fine? Think about it. You're all nodding your heads. You know, how many times has that been? Instead of the government trying to help you out, they won't. But if you're a big business, they will throw money at you. Particularly, yes, particularly if you're not from New York, right? If you're not from New York, you're a big business, they will literally throw money at you. But you're a local person trying to grow, they will punish you. I'm a business consultant in New York City, and often people ask me, Larry, I'm thinking about hiring somebody. I say, never hire anybody until you can hire at least two. Don't hire one unless you can afford to hire two. Then just hire one. Because the second you hire one, the government will begin the punishment. The punishment begins immediately. And you don't get it because you're a business person. You think, I look at my books, I can hire one person. And that's probably true. But the government is going to begin the punishment you are not ready for. So when you can hire two, then hire one. When you can hire five, then hire two. And that sounds crazy, but that's how New York State works. That's not true in every state. That's true in New York State. That's how it works. They're trying to stop you. But if you already have 100 employees, it's fine. Same thing with having a housing that you want to rent out. You want to rent out a basement? Oh, you want to rent out one room? Oh, that's when the punishment starts. But you want to buy a building with 50 units? Awesome, do that. They love you then because you have lots of money. In fact, if you're buying a building with 50 units, you're probably not a person. You're a financial institution that has some kind of fund. That's what you actually are. And they love those. Those are great here in New York. This is one of our bigger problems. I focus on three concepts, and that is safety, affordability, and opportunity. Right? I look at New York City. Why do so many people stay in New York City for so long? It's basically a communist state, right? New York City is basically a communist state, right? So why would you live there? Because there was a time in New York City when opportunity was so amazing, you would put up with it, right? Remember the old song, if you can make it there, you can make it everywhere, right? That wasn't just a song, that was real. So people thought, okay, I'll put up with almost anything because if I can make it there, I will explode. This is where I go. And New York State, not just New York City, used to be a place people would go to be somebody. Remember Rochester used to be the Empire State. Yes, this is where you would come and build your empire. Yes. Now it's the empire itself. It's not your empire. It's their empire. Yes. But if you remember, Binghamton used to be called Parlor City, right? Because all the wealthy people would go up there and have their parlors from New York City. Not anymore. Rochester used to be called Flower City. There was so much manufacturing in Rochester, right? So much manufacturing in Rochester. Those days are all gone. Now you leave New York to be somebody. And we still have all our leaders saying how great everything is. Everything's great. Everything's great. It's all good. We're all good.
Great for them.
It is good for them. They're not wrong. It's good for them. It is good. But here's my question I always have. They say, we're going to fix this problem, whatever problem they decide is bad now. We're going to fix it. And I go, great. What's the plan for growth? But we're going to fix this problem. Awesome. What's the plan for growth? But these people are marginalized, and we will unmarginalize them. Awesome. What's the plan for growth? There never is one. There never is one. It's always just Band-Aid, more money, Band-Aid, more money. And the best two examples I can give, recent ones, are homelessness and migrants. All over New York State. Every city. Right? All over the place. Every place. So what happened? Well, homeless. Did we fix homeless people? No. What we did was we created a homeless industrial complex. The state government gives hotels and Airbnb people money to keep homeless people there. Now, conception is not a bad idea to get people off the street. Okay. I'm not against the concept. Okay. What's the plan for growth? Oh, we don't have one. Why would we? We've now created an industrial complex. Now, why is that so important to you up here? Because here's the problem. It hurts tourism. You might go, well, Larry, we don't want the homeless people on the street because that hurts tourism. It does. True, it does. But now when they're all in hotels, what's the incentive for hoteliers, hotel owners, to be better? There is none. They're going to check from the government every month. Right. Why would I lower my prices to bring people in? Why would I? I can put homeless people in there. I'm fine. And it's ongoing money, constant money. And what if I'm bad to them? What if I don't give them good service? Who cares? They're not my customer. The state's my customer. The politician's my customer. The person in the room's not my customer. I don't care if they get good service or not. I don't care. They'll clean the room. Who cares? What are you going to complain? They're homeless. I don't care. I get my check from the government. I don't care. That's how they actually think. But here's worse. Now you decide you want to go visit New York City. Good for you. Try to find a hotel room that's not $400. I'm not joking. Try to find a hotel room in Manhattan, not $400 a night.
We found an Airbnb.
Airbnb, which they're about to outlaw. New York City's they're going to fix that. They saw guys like you trying to get around their scam. They said, you can't do that. So let's get rid of Airbnb. That's correct. Otherwise, you're paying $400 a night for a hotel. $400 one night. Go ahead.
There's a comment here about family court, so when you want to get to that.
I'll do a family court in a minute. Thank you for that. Yes. So my point here being, they've created an industrial complex. Family court, by the way, is also an industrial complex. I'll cover that in a second too. But in this case, it becomes a complex. But you thought, well, at least they're off the streets. Who cares? Now here come all the migrants. Well, the migrants come. How are we going to fix the migrant problem? I know. We'll put them in hotels.
Because they're homeless.
Because yes, but the problem is homeless people are there. So everyone's heard a couple stories here about there's a homeless veteran they threw out and put a migrant in. That's based upon truth. Why? Because the homeless problem is a state problem. That's state money. That's tax dollars. That's a problem. But migrants, that's a federal problem. That's federal money. That's free money. Oh my God, federal money's free money. We all know it's all free money. So that's all free money. Exactly. It's just free money. So we just take that and the federal government pays more, even better. So we'll throw the homeless people out, put the migrants in, and now get federal checks. Life is good. Good. How are we going to fix the migrants? Oh, we're not. Why? Because then I don't get my check. Yeah. I've now created an industrial complex for that now. No plan for growth. I understand Band-Aids when people are in trouble. I'm not against the Band-Aid when someone's in trouble. Okay, I get it. But it can't become an industrial complex. There must be a way to fix it. And there isn't. And that's my problem. And there's no incentive to. Well, Larry, you should vote him out. How? They won't let me on the ballot. So you can't get anyone else on the ballot, a third party, so you can't vote them out. That's impossible. And then every place is gerrymandered so much that whoever the party decides is the winner is the winner. Right? In my district in New York City, where I live in my district is so blue that the Republicans have not run a candidate in 10 years. The Democrat runs unopposed for the past 10 years. Unopposed. They didn't bother running. And the one time they ran one guy 10 years ago, he lost by 70 points. Not 17. 7-0. He lost 85 to 15. 10 years before that, nope, they didn't run anybody. That one guy was a crazy guy who wouldn't be punished. He ran, got destroyed. They stopped running people. If you want to call the Republican Party in my district, you like calling some guy's, sub shop. I'm not joking. It's like some guy's sub shop. Yeah, Joey's. This is a Republican committee? Yeah, what do you need? That's what it is. That's in my place. But that's not just my place. That's all over this country. heavily over them in New York.
Yeah.
So there's no way to vote him out. There is no answer. This is a big problem. I'm the one giving you some answers to fix things. I'll give you the one for migrants. People get mad at me. People say, Larry, aren't you against migrants? Not at all. I'm against no plan. Right? You want to have a plan? Okay, here's my plan. We build an Ellis Island in the Bronx. I'm not joking. Why the Bronx? Because the Bronx is diverse enough with the language that can understand all the people who are showing up. That's why. You could do Brooklyn too, but Brooklyn's a little different demographically, right? Bronx is going to be better for this, right? Literally, you build in the Bronx. It's not government run. You let a massive recruiting company like Robert Half or some big company like that as a recruiter. They build it. You're a migrant. You want to come to New York State? Great. Go to the Ellis Island. You don't want to go to Ellis Island? You're not welcome. That's it. You don't want to go to Ellis Island? You're not welcome in my state. Or go to the Ellis Island. What will they do? They'll quarantine you there, whatever is the time period, whatever, 14 days, whatever is the crime. They'll check you out, see what your skill sets are, find your place to go, wherever that place is. Who wants to hire? You want to hire? Awesome. Off you go. 2-year work visa. Go. People want migrants to work. You see it everywhere around here.
You just glossed over 2-year work visa. That's the thing, is they need to be able to work.
Yes.
Legally.
Legally, yes. But we don't know who they are also. Right? I know that a lot of libertarians get mad at me and they go, oh, no, should be open borders no matter what. I hear it. That's not who I am. If you're libertarian, you're mad at me, then I guess you're mad at me. I do believe you can have vibrant immigration and control your border. You can do both. We are doing neither. We are doing neither. Right? Again, failing at every point. Why are we failing? We're failing because the same idea of the industrial complex. There is no incentive to fix it. The incentive is to stay angry at each other. So why fix it? If you're a Republican, why didn't they fix the immigration problem years ago when Republicans ran everything? If you're a Democrat, why didn't you codify abortion when the Democrats ran everything? Both of these are left and right issues that they complain about all the time, yet when each one was in charge, did nothing about it. They could have. So whatever your leanings are, your side could have fixed that problem. Didn't. Why? I can't fight over it now. I'm not joking. I'm serious.
I can't send out fundraising letters.
I can't send out fundraising letters. Exactly right. I can't do that. I can't raise money off of this. I'm going to have to actually solve a problem. I don't want that. I want to protect you from the other. Right? Have you ever seen any Democratic fundraising letters that come out? I get Democrat Republican in my email box all the time. Every Democratic fundraiser. Stop the Trumpsters from destroying America. That's what everyone is. It's not, here's what I will do to protect you. Every Republican one, stop the socialists from destroying America. That's what everyone is. None of them is, here's what we're going to do to make your life better. Each one is, here's how we stop the other from destroying us. I will defend you from the other. It's working. But some people are seeing that it's not working as much. Some people are. The idea, I am not a fan of no labels. I'm not a fan of a lot of the third parties that are popping out. I get it. Not a fan. However, there is a good thing about them. The fact that they're existing and growing shows that people are getting sick and tired of a duopoly. That's the good thing. Now, to be forward libertarians, we have failed at picking up that ball as we should have. We have. It's true. I am trying to pick it up and grab as many as I can. I'm trying because there are people out there who are ready to walk away from the two parties. If we don't do our best to show them we have answers, to show them we can solve things, they're going to go someplace else. Right? Think about Cornel West running with the Green Party. The Green Party I thought was dying, but he went there. Now they're talking about coming back up again. We need to be grabbing people. People are open to it. And the funny thing is, most people, and I go back to 2016, most people who supported Bernie in 2016 had no idea what his policies were. I'm not joking. If you remember 2016, it's true. Most had no idea. They was like, he's the rebel. Yeah. They just wanted a rebel. And compared to Hillary Clinton was the poster child for the establishment. Whether you guys like Hillary or not, doesn't matter. You all agree. She's absolutely the establishment. I mean, she's the establishment, right? So everybody was like, no, we'll take Bernie, right? But then when Bernie got booted by the Democratic Party, a lot of those people, about a third of them, went to Trump. So how could someone who, Bernie and Trump, how? Because they saw them as rebels. These wouldn't even know what Trump's policies were. They're like, he's not one of them. He's not one of them, so I'm with him.
He's not a politician.
Correct. That's all they thought. That's all they believed. So the country is ready for it if we're able to find answers for it. So I brought up that idea of the Ellis Island in the Bronx because it's an answer. And even if some of you go, Larry, I don't like that answer. Great. We can have a conversation about what's better versus I'll protect you from the other and do nothing. That's the wrong answer, right? As a business consultant, I know sometimes if you want to get the right answer and you don't have it, put the wrong answer on the table.
Yep. On the internet.
Correct.
The best way to get correct answers is to post a wrong answer.
Bingo.
Not ask a question. Post the wrong answer.
Correct. Post the wrong answer.
No.
And they'll cite things for you. Here's how I know, but they'll give you the answers. They will. You see it. Yes. You put the wrong answer, but they go, oh, no. So maybe my Ellis Island's a bad answer. I don't think it is. Obviously, I wouldn't say it if I didn't think it, but maybe it is. But if I'm actually on a debate stage talking about it, now people go, no, it can't work because of this. Here's a better answer. They can't just go, sucks. Not going to work. Not going to work.
Not on a debate stage.
That's correct. Now we have to have a conversation. And look, maybe my plans are wrong. I'm okay with them being wrong. Fine, we'll fix them. I don't care. I'm not married to the answer. I'm married to an answer. Right? When I first about police reform, my plans were wrong. I had people on my show literally call me up and say, Larry, it doesn't work here. There's a difference. My mindset was skewed by New York City policing. So my initial police reform act was skewed by that. So the people actually called me. I had cops calling me from upstate going, it's work that way up here. So we had conversations. And I adjusted my entire plan. Why? Because I didn't care. I wasn't married to my plan. I was married to a good police reform plan. And when the cops from upstate said, Larry, your plan doesn't work because of X, Y, and Z, I made changes. And if my Ellis Island plan isn't good, we'll make changes to that too. Fine. Yes. But let's have a plan. Does that make sense, everybody? This is why I want to make that happen in New York City, and I want to make it happen here in this state. But it is impossible for us to do this if we don't get in the ballot. It's why I push the ballot so much. People just don't pay attention if we're not in the ballot. I saw it last year so vividly. The second I was pushed up the ballot, everybody forgot my name, didn't remember who I was, forgot my phone number all of a sudden, and all of a sudden I'm not a guy anymore, right? Not just that, a lot of libertarians walked away. The party walked away. People from the party walked away. They went, oh, he ain't in the ballot, I'm out. We lost people, we lost donors, we lost press, we lost everything. But here's the funny part, it's an interesting little tidbit. I pushed this stuff out, what was going to happen, to a bunch of people in the press here in New York State. They almost all ignored me. Then in late October, I had 3 or 4 of them going, damn it, Larry, you're right. Oh my God, this is, yes. I said, you're building an aristocracy. That's what you're doing in this state. You're going to destroy this state. There's no chance. And at the end, they were like, you're right. The good thing about that is now they are ready to hear me now. So when we start to make our move next year, we will be able to get the press to support us. They're actually open to it. They want to make change. They realize it's a problem. Great. So anyway, I yapped away a bit. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. I'm happy to take any comments or questions. Any comments or questions about what I talked about or any concerns? I'm sorry? Oh, yes, family court. Thank you, family court. I'm sorry. Thank you for that. Yes. So the person watching asked about family court. Family court, by the way, is also a racket. What do I mean by that? If any of you know how family court works, judges are actually encouraged to have you pay high alimony, high child support, high everything. They're encouraged. Why? The state gets a cut. If you do not put your money, say, for example, I get divorced and I'm writing a check to my wife and I give her a check. That does not count towards my payment. I'm not joking. It didn't go through the system. Even though I have paperwork, I have actual check, does not count. You didn't put it through the system. That is unpaid child support. That's unpaid alimony.
They can't get their cut.
They can't get their cut. It must go through the system. The courts, I'm sorry, the New York State gets a cut like a credit card company. They make money on our misery. That's why it must go through. Not just that, judges are also compared by how much money they're raising. Think about that. That's an embarrassment. It is in their best interest for us to be painful, for us to suffer. In their best interest. Not just that. In the family court system, say you are paying, right? So I'm paying $2,000 a month or whatever I'm paying a bunch of money because I was making lots of money. Well, now I get fired. Now my job becomes irrelevant. Now my company moves. I get injured. I go to the judge and they go, Judge, this has happened. The judge goes, too bad pay. I'm not joking. The judge goes, too bad pay. Yeah, but I had an injury or my company left. Too bad pay. Get 2 jobs. If I get 2 jobs, boss, judge, then I can't see my kid. Too bad pay. The judge does not care if you see your kid. It just cares if he pays the money. That's all that matters. The focus is on the cash, not the actual welfare of the child. Not just that. If they take the child, CPS, they take the child. The federal government gives the state money for every kid they take. Not joking. The federal government gives them money for every kid they take. So again, it's a racket. If I put more kids in the CPS, I give them money from the federal government. Of course. So make a mistake. The mistake you make, off you go, take your kids. Because they get cash. This is a racket. The family court system is an embarrassment in this state. In many states, but this one, it's an embarrassment. The judges are terrible. If you're a family court judge listening, you're probably terrible. Judges are terrible. These are. They're terrible. They don't care. Because the incentives are terrible. Right. They are. In fact, the worst part, actually, believe it or not, is the lawyers. The lawyers are incentivized. This is what they'll do. Okay, we have to, because you're now getting divorced, let's look at all the assets. What are your assets? Are your assets are that amount of money? What a coincidence. That's how much it costs for your case. What a coincidence that is. The exact amount of money you have is exactly how much it costs for your case. What a coincidence that is. You lucked out today, man. And aren't you lucky? That's how much it costs. That's how it works all the time. And they just keep pushing it out. There are people I know in the state who haven't been divorced for years. Years. Because they just keep pushing it out. Who gets paid? Lawyers and the court system. They're making money. That money should be going to your family. It's not going to a court system. It is an embarrassment. And you ask most people, they don't believe it. And it'd be forward. I haven't been through this. I'm not divorced, right? I haven't been through this. People say, what's your story? I don't have one. But it's a true story. For those of you who've been through the family court system, please hear me. You'll know what I'm talking about. When I started camping in 2017, I heard a story. And to be forward, I didn't believe it. I thought it was, it's probably some deadbeat dad who just got screwed, who's mad or whatever. That's what I honestly thought. And I know it sounds horrible, but that's why I know some other people think that because I thought that. Then about a day later, I'm in another county and I had the same story from a different guy. Then another day later, different county, same story, different guy. Till I heard it, like, I'm not joking, a dozen times. And I was like, this is real. This is real. Then I did my homework. And I had my team put up policies, and it's real. In fact, one time I was at a vape shop. I'm in a vape shop, and an actual matrimonial attorney was in the event. And she says, and I tell my story, she goes, Larry, I would never do that. I would never lie or do that kind of stuff. I said, great. Are you telling me it doesn't happen? This is what she did. Literally. Put her head down and walked away. She did not lie. Now, maybe she's a good matrimonial attorney. I don't know her at all. Perhaps she is, and maybe she doesn't lie. Okay. But here's what happens constantly. If you lie in court, in family court, it is not treated as perjury. It's not. No. I'm not making this up. It's not treated as perjury. It's not. You can lie in family court. It will not be treated as perjury. It will not be treated as perjury at all. If you are the male, it may be treated as contempt. If you are the female, it's treated as nothing. Nothing. Doesn't matter. In fact, there's not even a punishment for it. So what lawyers will tell you, they'll do this. The lawyer will say, look, I'm not saying he hit you. I'm not saying he hit you. All I'm saying is if you say he hit you, you'll probably get the kids. They actually say that actually, and how do I know that? Because I said that publicly all the time. I've never been sued. No one's come after me. No one said anything because that happens all the time. Right? I'm saying something that seems horrible. No one's ever said I was wrong. Never. I've been saying this for 5 years, since 2017, almost 6 years. No one's ever said I was wrong, come at me, nothing, because I'm right. That's absolutely happening. So now, if you treat it as perjury, the lawyer can't do it now. If the lawyer does it, and now she lies, the lawyer assisted in a felony. The lawyer will lose her license. So just make it to where if you lie in family court, it's perjury. That's it. Change that rule. It is perjury. Lawyers will stop encouraging lying. And this happens all the time because family members can also lie. So what I'll do is I'll have my mother come in and say, yeah, I saw she was on drugs. My mom told her the drugs. That's how bad it was. I told a lie, made it up totally. The mom will come in, yeah, sold her drugs. She's on drugs. Yeah, she's on drugs. So now the deadbeat dad is hammering some good mom saying she's on drugs when she's not. And what's the punishment? Nothing. They found out later. You've never been on drugs. You're a drug test. Never been on drugs. But meanwhile, your kids are in CPS. Right? Meanwhile, your kids are in CPS. Happens all the time. That happens all the time in New York State. It's a system that encourages deadbeat dads to win, and the good dads get crushed and turn into deadbeat dads or just devastated. And the crazy women win when the good women get punished by deadbeat dad. That's how the system works. The faster and crazier you lie, the better chance you get what you want. So the crazy mom and a deadbeat dad win. The good mom and the good dad get crushed. That's the system. You're nodding your head because you've all seen it. You've all heard people. You've all seen it. You know it's true, right? That's how it works. So yes, it's a racket. I hope I brought up your issue. Here's what I would ask all you people who've been in the family court system: when the time comes, help. Because sadly, most of you did not. Why do people not support the family court system like I do? Here's the reason why. Again, it's a horrible reason, but it's true. Most fathers, particularly who've been beat up in the family court system, don't have any money. They can't donate. They're not good donors. It's true. They're not good donors. And many of them have criminal records because they've been put in jail by their wife. So that means they now can't vote. So they're not good donors. I get it. That's why most people don't do it. I don't care. It's the right thing to do. So I support them anyway. And more importantly, it destroys families. If I want New York State to be a good state, it has to have good, strong families. And family court system is breaking them up. But I understand why people don't. Still wrong, they do. So the family court people, many of them did not support me in 2018 or 2022. I hope you will come and learn your lesson and support me in 2024 and 2026.
Strong families don't need governments taking care of them.
That is correct.
Families need
Yes.
socialism. Right.
Yes.
And that's why they are breaking the family, because they
100% true.
They need
Yeah,
the
there
strong
was a socialist conference, I don't know, a few weeks ago, a month ago.
Yep.
And somebody infiltrated,
Yep.
a libertarian infiltrated Carlin, forget her last name. But
Yeah, I had her on my show like a month ago.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Borisenko, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Yep.
All right, cool. Thank you.
And she said that there was a number of speakers who said that capitalism, or that strong families are the backbone of capitalism.
It's true.
And if we're going to destroy capitalism, we have to destroy the family first.
Yes. Yes. It's almost that part is absolutely true. And this is why I was talking to some people at another event about how elderly people can't survive in the state. And I said, here's what we're going to do. Here's 2 rules that will help. Rule number 1, once you hit 65 in this state, as long as you have owned a home in this state for at least 10 years, your property tax is cut by 5% every year until 85. This goes down to 0. What will that do? To begin, they want people to want to stay here. Property tax goes down lower. But it's a second part to this. Let's say you're older and you don't want to live on your own anymore. You want to live with your niece or your cousin or your son or your daughter, your grandkid, whatever. Great. If you move in with that person, their property tax is half of that. So their property tax goes down by 2.5 points every single year. What does that do? It encourages families to live together, and it also encourages the people who are retiring to stay here and spend their pensions here. Right now, they're getting retired and they're going to spend their pensions in Florida, Tennessee, Texas. I want you spending your retirement here in New York State. Spend the money in a place like this, right? Come here for breakfast. Don't go to some diner in Florida for breakfast, right? Come here, right? Spend your money here in our state. But I can't do that if I make your life so hard that you're spending all your time paying taxes. Right? But not just that. People go, well, Larry, you're going to lose all this tax revenue. No, I'm not. Number 1, they're going to be spending the money here. Number 1. Number 2, less people going to homes, which the state pays for.
Yeah.
More will stay in their own homes. Because now all of a sudden I got my 75-year-old grandma and I say, do I want her in my house? What? I'm going to drop 25% of my property tax? Yes, you can come to my house, grandma. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Right? Because she would lose 50%. But if she moves in with you, you go down 25%. You'd want her to stay. Gives you an incentive to keep her in the house, right? Critical piece. Second piece I brought up was the idea of changing how we fund education. If you fund education through a fund, right, like Norway does and Singapore does, separate from a separate company, you fund it through that. Now all of a sudden, what's the need for school tax? There is none. If school tax goes away, your property tax is cut by about half, depending on where you are. Some people's a bit more, some a bit less, but the average is about half throughout the state. All of a sudden, now your property tax is cut in half. Property tax cut in half, and if you're a senior, it's going down already 5% every year. You'd want to stay. You'd want to stay. That's what I want. We can make it work to where people would want to stay. All these things I'm telling you are actual ideas, and that's the issue. Do you have something else?
You got to order.
I do have to order one of these days, yes. Any other questions or comments? Yes, please.
I listened to the mayor of New York City on the news the other day.
Did you have to?
Well,
okay, good. Okay, yes, okay.
And here, like you said, he's saying right now.
Yes.
Honestly, I believe it's going to destroy New York City.
Yes.
And they would have to cut everything.
They're already doing it.
Service.
They're in process of.
So
Yes.
if they're cutting every service, I have a doubt that they're going to do that. But okay, if they are, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple of things. Number one, people think about New York City about it being a horrible crime-ridden place. It is, but it isn't. Let me be clear on that. Violent crime in New York City has gone down. Theft has skyrocketed, right? Violent crime is lower in New York City than it's been since the lockdowns, right? It has gone down, absolutely. But theft is skyrocketing across the entire state, actually, right? Rochester's a disaster when it comes to theft, right? But all over the state it's going up. New York City, say again? And violent crime, yes. But in New York City, violent crime has gone down. Theft is just exploding. And a lot of it's actually, believe it or not, migrants. They're resorting to theft because they can't work. To your point, they can't work. So you can't work, you have no process, no plan. What are they going to do? They're going to still survive. I get it. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying it's our fault. It's our fault. Either don't let them in or have a plan, right? So that absolutely is happening already. So what I think is going to happen is very simple. Kathy Hochul, Queen Kathy Hochul, first of her name. She will be asking Uncle Joe for another big check. That's what she's going to do. She's going to say, Uncle Joe Biden, can you please give me a big check? You need about $50 billion this time, give or take. I think the answer is they're going to ask for more money. That's what the answer is. They ask for money. That's it. Say again?
Then they'll tie it to a Ukraine spending
They'll
bill.
tie it to a Ukraine spending bill. Yes, exactly. So there's $50 billion for Ukraine and $50 billion for New York City. That's what it'll be. Yes, exactly. But they'll call it the Ukraine funding bill, and $50 billion will go to New York City. My guess is they'll just keep printing money. That is what I think. They will just keep printing money. I don't see any other answer but keep printing money. That's what I see. Now, as the states begin to collapse, I think the first state to go under will be Illinois. Illinois is worse off than New York and California. The major reason is Illinois has nothing big in it, right? New York has finance, which is going away, which keeps us afloat, right? But we've lost about $20 billion in income from just migration. That's IRS numbers in 1 year. And people are leaving. We lost $20 billion in income just from migration. That's New York State. California has both tech and Hollywood. So they have two. They're losing both. Hollywood's been leaving California for a long time and still on its way out. It's going to Toronto. It's going to Georgia. Right? It's going on. It's leaving. Even parts of Nashville, believe it or not. And finance, the tech is leaving. Also, it's going to Austin. Tech's all going to Austin. So they're all losing it too. But that'll have those two states float. Illinois has nothing. Doesn't have anything. So Illinois is in a worse spot. Illinois will go under first. When Illinois goes under, it'll basically go into what's called state receivership. The federal government will take over Illinois, absorb the debt into the national debt, and basically put Illinois into some kind of austerity program. That's what will happen in Illinois. Once that happens, the rest of the states will probably follow. Until eventually, there'll just be one big, massive state receivership. That's my assumption, eventually. I know that didn't sound good, did it?
No.
I don't know any other answer. And then eventually, by the way, the federal government will reboot the dollar because it'll be worth nothing, and then reboot it probably with a CBDC, with a central bank digital currency. That's my assumption of what will happen if we don't fix it. I don't want any of that to happen because that's dystopia in my world. But if we don't do something, that is the future. The future is massive state receivership, rebooting of the dollar with the CBDC. That's the answer. There's no other answer.
So that would be like the end of state governments. The federal government would control.
Well, they'd officially be a state government, like it's officially a local government officially, but not really in name. Like you would vote and stuff, but it wouldn't do anything. They're like now, like now. Yes. So would there be a state? Yeah. Would there be a governor? Yeah. Would they have any power? No. Ceremonial, like they're cut ribbons and stuff. I'm serious. Yes. Or like right now, New York City has it. You guys know there's a borough president in every borough in New York City. You guys know that? Yes. $2 million budget for each borough president in New York City. You know how much power they have? None. Literally none. Literally. All they do is cut ribbons and stuff. That's all they do. Yes. They literally have no power. In fact, a libertarian ran with the specific goal to end the borough presidents. He ran for Manhattan borough president, and his entire goal was get rid of it. And on the debate stage, he said, there's no need for this. We do nothing. And the people were like, yeah, you're kind of right. Yeah, but we're still doing it. $2 million in salaries. It's a jobs program. Yes. In fact, people become borough president to get a jobs program so they can become mayor. Eric Adams used to be Brooklyn borough president. Yes. So you just do it just so you can be something. Yes. So it'll be that. There'll be a bunch of borough presidents, Craig. That's what it'll be. A bunch of them making money for the state. So, boy, that was a downer. Anyway, let me try to make it up a little if I could. There is hope. There are people who are seeing it everywhere. The rise of the third parties, the rise of independent media, the rise of all these things are good signs. There is hope. Our goal is to pull them into our camp. And that's not easy to do. We have to do it. And here's what I'll ask you personally to do. I'll ask you several things to do personally. Number one, when someone's talking to you about these issues and you want to show them libertarian ideas, don't be mean. I'm serious. Sometimes we are so frustrated. We are so upset. We let that out. And I'm asking you to take that deep breath and don't just let out screaming. The person's open. Have the conversation. Chat about the ideas. Don't yell even though you want to. Even when they say something insanely stupid, do not yell at them. They don't know any better. It's probably ignorance. It's probably not stupidity. It's probably ignorance. So have that conversation. Number one, that's what I would ask you. Two, when April comes, get behind me and get me signatures. I need them. As many as you can get.
And get you what?
Signatures. And when April comes, I will let you know what date is. I don't know what day is yet. When I know, please get out there and get me signatures. 10 is good. I'm happy with 10. If you can get me 100 or 500, awesome. I'll take 10. Just get me signatures. I will take 10. If you know somebody who has a facility like this, who'd be okay with you or someone else standing in front of that facility, taking names as they come in, please let me know about that facility that would be okay doing that. And let's get somebody in front of that facility to take those names, right? We will need every signature we can possibly get. If we get 90,000, we are golden. I think 60,000 is fine, but 90,000 is unstoppable. Unstoppable. So we want to get as many signatures as we possibly can. So in April, please go out and do that. If you can donate, please donate. Whatever you can donate. And I need it monthly. So if you're saying to yourself, Larry, I don't have that much money, $10 a month is fine. If you guys are super wealthy, I hope some of you guys are. I know Craig's got the money coming out everywhere. He's super wealthy. So if you're super wealthy and you can do more than that, please do so. But $10 a month is fine because that keeps things going. That keeps everything going. And people see it and know people are doing it. So it helps. Every little bit counts. If you cannot donate, you're in a spot where you can't do it. I get it. No worries. I need you to do something else. On every social media platform that you see anything that I have, I don't care if you like it or don't like it or watch it or don't. Click like and share it. I'm not joking. I am still shadow banned by most of these places. It has not gone away. Every like and every comment matters. And I mean, literally, if you see something and you're not even watching it, oh, Larry's on, click like and put, great show, Larry, and move on. I'm not joking. Seriously, every comment matters. Every share matters. If you're on Twitter, just retweet it. It's free and it really matters. Every time you see something that's on social media, click that like, put a cheesy comment. Hi, Larry. Perfect. That's a comment. I'm serious. Every single one you can do, please do. If you have me online, look at my stuff. Like. Hi, Larry. Hi, Larry. Boom. Go do whatever you're doing. Answer emails. Whatever. If you can watch my stuff, please watch it, obviously. But I don't care if you do. Go ahead.
In the digital marketing world, they're recommending comments be at least 4 words for them to boost the algorithm.
There we go. 4-word comments, please. Hi, Larry. How are you? Done. There we go. We hit 5 there. We're good. Right? So, yes, whatever you can do, please do. Thank you for that. Yes. Please, whatever you can.
Great.
Yeah.
Larry's super great.
There we go. Yes. So, whatever you can, please, it does matter. Every bit. Go ahead.
Boost the algorithm more. Talking all caps.
Is that right?
Add a ton of exclamation points at the end.
There we go. Exclamation points. There we go. I love it. Oh, good.
Real.
Yes.
It's real.
Guys, any other comments or questions? Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. You guys can clap if you want to. Thank you so much, guys.